Am I back? I might be back. This will be the shortest stream ever. What if I change the buffering again? Is it gonna crash? If it crash again, I'll be back again. How about that? And then maybe don't change it then. Let's try it. Please do not crash. I'm just trying to disable buffering, which is a big deal. Don't. I'm begging. Oh, okay. Okay. It didn't crash. Ooh. Is it good now? I don't know. Okay, so that is very confusing. So my screen here has no latency. Only audio latency is like there. Oh, that's weird. You want to play private match? I don't know about private match though. I just want I think I'm gonna pass on that one. Hope you don't mind. I don't think I want to play private matches. Dix, hi. What's up, G? What's up? Okay, with intense latency, I'm gonna try it. I have this cheap ass drum here. Hey, if it works, right? Look at that, the drum. Don't worry about hearing drum noises, alright? It's fine. Oh shit. I forgot I have the audio disabled. Audio disabled. I hate it here. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Give me more time. Give me more time. Look, this is the first time I'm doing this, alright? Yeah, I got a drum. A very cheap one. If I just go like manual calibration, it's minus 29. What if I'm gonna regret this. About minus 5, I think. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. I didn't think of this, to be honest. The latency. You hear that? This is sad. What is this? So I hit. After a literal second, it plays a sound. What did I do with that? What did I do with that? God, I never thought of this. Put down. I'm trying to think of something. I mean, I disabled buffering, so it should not have too much latency currently. But then the game itself is like a shitload of latency. Guess I'll do the calibration again? Sure. Welcome back, Pinky. Oh god. They don't have 2 sticks. Now you know, Saturn. Hi. Been a while. How you doing? The silence. Use headphones plugged directly into your Nintendo Switch console. I'm crying. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I know this might be stupid, but let me. Does restarting Switch works? Extended cord? Oh, what's an extended cord? Usually the solution to some problems. What if I do like minus 29? How does minus 29 sound like? Alright, hear this. Alright, hear this. No fucking way, dude. How do I play this? I didn't think of this. Oh. Faster? I am half crying because I never thought of this. Music note position? Oh, what if I adjust this? Like manual calibration? Because now I hit. So note need to be faster? Hit doom, right? So if note needs to be faster, what if note goes like minus 29? But then you guys' ear is gonna like get destroyed. Hi Nana. Udong. Nope. I'm gonna try. Like, I know this sounds stupid, but I'm gonna try restarting Switch. How about that? Because I heard that maybe that works. I could be wrong. When did I buy Funny Rhythm Game? Oh shit, I missed that. It's not mine, it's my sister's. Let me try this. I gotta try it. Oh no, this is sleep mode. Sherry's carrying? Yeah, man. Restart too. No signal? Oh shit. Don't worry about it, it's just starting. That was fast. Either early this year or last year, can't remember. I mean, I'm glad I get to play Taiko. Alright, let's hope this works, question mark. Oh, is there like a settings here that I can do? Latency shit? Oh, wait, no, I'm showing sensitive information. What am I doing? I'm showing sensitive information. Cool. You know what? This is a short VOD. I'm not showing this VOD then. I have the heckin' what is it again? Mario Kart and Tetris 99. Oh wait, I think for this I have another idea, but it's not using OBS, so you guys won't be seeing the Kobo or anything. I have this assist recentral. It's for like every media streaming services, I think. I should try that out to see if it has like insane latency or some shit. Black screen. Some text is like, so we keep sensitive information. Maybe it'll be better? Probably. I mean, I guess I could do that. Doesn't sound too hard. Okay, there's only left and right. Alright. Here comes simple calibration once more. Oh god. I have no faith in this. Yeah. God damn it. Community challenge, calibrate rhythm game correctly. I just didn't think of this. Use your TV speakers? What is causing this, to be honest? It says use headphones plugged directly into your Nintendo Switch. Oh, I need to be plugging to the console. Wait, that's weird. The consequence is death? Yeah, no. Nuh-uh. If I set the sound to silent, I mean, you guys will probably be in pain. So is me, because what happens now? Let me try something. Let me just go to like random music. Okay, let's see if I go to this one. Okay, it's silent. It's silent!
TTS test. Why did the dragon cross the road? Because there is a McDonald's on the other side.
There's a McDonald's? Dude, I crave McDonald's, but shit's expensive. Okay, instrument is silent. Instrument is silent. It's so sad. I give up. know what? Wait. Actually, can I try to, like, my previous method might just work. So no drum noises, right? No drum noises. But like if I make the note comes in earlier, how about that? Oh, it's already at -29. Was the note kind of accurate just now? I mean, if I set this to -29 as well, then might as well just don't adjust it then. Or is it? Let's try the silent way. I can press the button here. What if we try a different one for testing? If I press the buttons, you mean? If I press button on I mean, I have a little controller on this drum. Let me try it. Does it work? Oh wait, no, it only works on. I'm sorry, it only works on. Different rhythm game? I don't have any other rhythm games though. Minus usually means early. Okay, so let's think about this. So I hit, it plays way later. So that means I need to be a lot more. Is that it? Because when I hit, it's just like... Is this? Oh. Read the game demo. Music note positions. Maybe don't you? Try to start from 0. Alright, this is 0. You guys can hear the drum noises, right? I hate this. When I keep beating the drum, I will slowly adjust to the music and not to the actual music. Do you play through a capture card or do you have a separate screen with an HDMI splitter? I have a screen to my right, this screen right here. I'm playing through. I'm playing with a separate screen with an HDMI. The bonks. The bonk. So what does that mean? Do I need, like... I don't really feel a difference. Yeah, I use capture card, yeah. I mean, I have to use capture card so that I can show you guys the screen and everything. If not, it's impossible. I mean, even the menu screen, you hear this? Tick. Ooh. Tick. You're watching the screen from the capture card? I have a capture card output on the other screen, yeah. This shouldn't be this bad unless you listen to the audio from the capture card, then the latency is wildly mismatched. That could be why, honestly. Because I'm listening through OBS. I don't know how else can I listen to the music though. I cannot open up ReCentral currently because they don't want to share the screen. The capture card has a lot of delay for rhythm games. Ah, maybe that's why there's not a lot of people play rhythm games with like console games. That makes sense. Very smart. Yeah, don't be like me, I'm not smart. So if I were to set... Let me try something. I think for every media I have... Hmm. 125 ms. What if I put it as 0 ms for the sync offset? Let me try it. Okay, I don't know how to feel this one, but let me go to calibration again. This might be different.
3, 2, 1,
No, still the same, so it's probably not. Help. It's the same. Well, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. Yeah, you guys are gonna watch me calibrate this. It's probably not gonna work anyway, but I don't know. What if I adjust the music? See ya. Like if I bang the drum earlier for the dawn to hit in the game, it doesn't really work as well. You can technically have a separate screen and audio without the capture card. Technically, even the TV can add delay. That's why the game offers to listen to the console directly. That's also part of why TV have this game mode settings, I think. Oh. Well, I'm not playing with TV. I'm not playing with tabletop mode. You know what would be fun? If I were to have this kind of terrible latency problem and then go play party games. There's one Honeybee game that's so good. God. I'm out of ideas. What do you guys think of this this kind of calibration stream? You said try other rhythm game demo? Is it safe to go Nintendo eShop here? Calibrations is cool, very educational, but I'm not educating anything, I'm just failing. Recognition adjustments for drum controllers that use HD rumble can be made in manual calibration TV mode. Calibration. You guys love calibrations? Okay, calibrations. Calibrations also affect party games. You guys are hearing... Okay, so... before anything, you guys are hearing... these noises a little bit earlier than the visual. The visual is slower than the audio, right? You guys hear the audio first and then... Yeah, I think from OBS side, the visual is way slower. That's why I add the offset of audio for the video capture device. Dark Witch music episode Rudy Mickle demo is quick to test. Guess I can do that. If going to eShop shouldn't show any sensitive information. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doesn't. I'm sad there's no music for this one though. There's no music for Nintendo eShop Switch. No, where's the... the loading noises instead? I mean, that's not bad. No, it's not a bad jam, to be honest. Also, the Nintendo eShop is laggy as fuck. What's it called again? Oh no. Why am I doing this? Dark Witch? What? That's why. Oh, there is Witch. The episode. Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring. I think searching for this should be enough. Search. Go. There it is. Dark Witch Elder Ring. Dark Witch Elder Ring. It's not even Elden Ring. Can't hear the music without Mr. Krabs' voices anymore. Mr. Crab. Jump and slasher rhythm. Oh, is it like Muse Dash? Looks like Muse Dash. Oh, it kind of looks like Muse Dash, but it's like a one-on-one VS question mark. Hey, don't mind me trying to download this demo. Just gonna try it out. Don't make me play... Oh! Speaking of Mario, well, I'm not speaking of that, but now I can speak of it. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I finished the game. I beat Pauletta. I beat Pauletta. Okay, how long does it take? And the music for Pauletta is so good. Like, honestly, the music in the game is so god tier. And NGL, it's god tier. Like the fight of Pauletta is like, oof. The music gives me goosebumps.
Ooh, shiny.
Shiny. Why you paused? Download this software first. Don't pause. Download it. Do you need me to close Taiko? God damn it. God. Alright. Oh. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, it's so fast. Holy shit. Shannon, that game doesn't have the arena. Arena? That game? Arena? Hmm. Still cool how the game holds up, short and full of variety. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Dude, that music got here. I still want to just fight Bowletta for fun. Although my team has shit damage though. So the fight took like quite a bit. I don't know why I gave myself the challenge of not using badges, or use the worst badge in the game and just go fight the boss. I don't know. Bowser's Inside Story and following had arenas with bosses and special attack challenges. Bowser's Inside Story? Is it like another Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga kind of game? Do I get to play as Bowser? I mean, if it is, that'll be kinda cool. Actually, scratch that. It would be very cool. I don't like that silence. As Bowser? Oh! Oh! It's that silent. I don't like it. I guess I still hear my PC noises, right? Let me see. Yeah, you guys can still hear. Punch stuff and set on fire. This sounds like Bowser, alright? Shit! Where is it? Can I play it? Bowser's Inside Story, you say? Bowser Inside Story. Platform? Nintendo 3DS? Let me just cry real quick then. On DS? I'm still gonna cry. What? Why is that the first question? Why did Bowser's Inside Story sell poorly? Is it that bad? Terrible sales could be attributed to the dying interest in Nintendo 3DS, as well as remaking Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story very quickly. It was the last Mario and Luigi RPG on Nintendo DS. Improvements are not much. Oh, is it that bad? I mean, Bowser's Inside Story. So it's a DS version, and then there's the 3DS version is the remake of the game. That's a little bit short time for a remake, isn't it? It's taking a lot longer than I thought, by the way. Don't worry about it. If it's a DS version, how do I get the ROM? Like, how do I get the disc and extract it as a game? Is Nintendo DS like SD card? Is the game pack like an SD card? It's not like Superstar Saga didn't have endgame stuff. It has things like mind games and dream mixing. Select bosses to use it on. SD cards? I should check the price for it. Like, I seriously can't want to play it. Price. Maybe Shopee? Will anyone sell this in Shopee? No fucking way. Bowser's Inside Story plus Junior's Journey 3DS? I mean, they sell this, but it has no, like, it has nothing. It's empty. All the crazy killing today. Oh, mini games. Oh, why can't you just put a red marker on the words? Just have to change it instantly. I don't know. It's like it has no ratings. No one bought this. It's like 0. Nothing here. But it costs 168 ringgit. For a 3DS game? Probably. Oh, it has Junior's Journey as well. Is that like a DLC? Oh, and then... Oh, okay, so the shop here... The shop... Active 4 months ago? What? Active 4 months ago? Oh shit. Is some manage army or soul mode? Oh! So it is some sort of like a side content. Joined 4 years ago, rating 3.4 out of 20 ratings. And chat performance 57% within days. Chat response rate shows how consistent the seller is in replying to chats and offers. Okay. Oh, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is also in GTS? Oh, these are all the remakes, isn't it? Was Alpha Dream's last Mario and Luigi before bankruptcy? Oh no. No idea why everything got turned into remakes towards the end. That's just kinda sad. Also, this is a very long 5 minutes. The music's been playing for 5 minutes and there's still 4 minutes remaining. Make your goddamn mind switch. How do I even get a legal copy of the DS version? On eBay? Cartridge only? Oh, that's recent. $24. Intel DS. Yeah, it is like an SD card. $25 is like 100 something. Maybe the music's thing or data. No, my PC is using my PC is using the Ethernet cable, and then Switch is using my hotspot. Should be not that bad, I think. It's getting terrible. I'm just trying to calibrate music. It's what it is? Game? Huh? Game's bullying. Maybe I cannot play Taiko on stream. I've been trying to do it. There must be some way they can do it, but I just don't know how. Need to quickly run to store. I have a craving for sausage and pancakes this morning. Go, go, go. Go get food. Go get sausage and pancakes. It's important to cater to those cravings and take care of them. Speaking of, I'm kind of crave for sushi right now. Sushi is so expensive. Ah. Let me test if it's locked or if it follows system settings. Oh, how do you test that? If I have a legal copy of the game, then I should just research on how to get a Nintendo DS emulator going. Emulator shouldn't be too hard, I think, since I don't... Is this illegal? It should not be illegal, right? I mean, I got the legal copy of the game, but I don't get the legal Nintendo DS though. Might be a bit of a problem. I don't know how that works. Also, this is taking way longer. Emulating is legal, sharing ROMs is not. So like those ROMs on the internet is not legal then. I see. Fair enough. So emulating is legal. Okay. Good. Then I just need to find a legal copy of the game. Speaking of, I'm kinda hungry. How about this? I'm just gonna go and bang a song. Even if you do get a legal copy, you want to stream DS games is tough. I believe having the emulator on PC should be easier. Normally you have to mod the DS to have a capture card. No. Like, emulator on PC should work fine. I think. Probably. Like, I just need to extract the ROMs, right? Touchscreen is a pain. Oh, DS has touchscreen. We're supposed to do that then. Huh? I don't know how that works. Or they gifted it to someone. Oh yeah, no problem. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm just thinking. Oh. Bowser's Inside Story. I'll have to think about this. Unless your mouse sensitivity is turned way up and then it's still clunky. Oh, I can use my mouse to just like touch screen. DS emulator for a long time. I mean, I did play Black and White. I did play Black 2. I could try... I could try... Oh, it's done. Wait, I'm not ready yet. Black 2 player. Alright, let me try this. Hopefully it's not that loud. I know this is not Taiko no Tatsujin, but I'm just trying to test things out, alright? Let me play with drum. How about that? Fly high works. Oh, that's fast. Oh yeah, I forgot I have friend requests. 2 players game? Sure. Alright, just test this real quick. Oh shit, it has to be 2 players. Oh, I need to be... I don't want to go story mode. Cannot. You cannot. Shut up. Whoa, look at that. Oh shit. The very anime. Hard, let's go. Damn, this game's hype though. Slash in time with the boings, boings, boings. Okay. Jump over fireballs and lasers. Two player. Oh, wait, I need both? I don't have a control for that. Hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. Hi, Merp. I'm just testing something. I'm not really playing Taiko currently. I want to. Is it? Okay, whoa. I am discovering something here. What the fuck? That feels very correct. What the fuck? Is Taiko being a dick? Are you being a goddamn dick? What is this? Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Fuck! No, that feels way correct. I don't even need to understand this game. It's just a rhythm. The rhythm is correct. I am dumbfounded. Oh, is it because of like how about if I use the drum? How about that? Alright, can I use the drum for this one? No? Does it work? Okay, no, it doesn't. It doesn't feel the drum. No way! Okay, let me try again. It feels correct. It feels very fucking correct. Wait, Yep. Yep, that feels very fucking correct, by the way. That feels very correct. So it probably is just Taiko being a dick. Yeah, drum is only Taiko. I know. I mean, I don't know, but I know now. That sucks! I can play rhythm game, but it's just not Taiko? Really now, huh? Really now? You shit, I don't believe you. I don't fucking believe you. I don't trust you. I will beat the drum. I want to beat the drum. How many buttons does the drum have? Red, blue, blue. Does that count? This right, red, left, red, right, blue, left, blue. Does it make sense? Four? And then there's like an external mini controller for controlling the to navigate the menu thing. Oh, what if I try something else? I wonder if it's just this drum being a dick. Let me try using button press. How about that? Never fighting game. I know, right? Okay, let me try something. Since let me try using controller to play this game then. It feels weird, but I did that before. That's mine. Alright, give me a second. Okay, has to be player 1. I'm using my controller again. Yeah, fighting game which is 4-button press is enough for a fighting game. Look at them spraying herds. 4 buttons, good enough.
Good morning.
You do more than good morning, you little shit. Oh wait, go back. Let me put everything to 0. I don't even want to go through the calibration again.
Good Sonic Warrior.
Sonic Warrior, what? Okay, let me put everything to 0 and see how it goes. I'm gonna put the drum down first. It's obstructing me. Aha. You're not on my lap anymore. Okay, plus 0. I want this 1, 2, 3. What do you mean 1, 2, 3? Nuh-uh. Okay, let me go Taiko mode. Enso game. Let's go turtle. Okay, not make it silent anymore. Or you guys want something else? Don't cack. Oh my god. Where? Why is this a thing? Woo! Moto Starchi. Oh, this is the best. Suya! Ha! Cookin'? Ute! Uh-oh. Well, now we have to destroy our ears. Let's do it. Okay, I think I remember how to play this. With controller. Oh no. Close enough. My hand hurts. My hand hurts. Enjoying this? Enjoying the cat and dog noises? That's a bit fast. My thumb hurts. Okay, here's my theory. Here's my theory. Here's my theory. I think it's probably because, I'm saying this, very, very probably, missing more shoe. Because the drum that I bought is extremely cheap, very affordable. maybe it has some issues? It uses cable. It has a USB cable that connects through the dock. There you go. What do you mean? Isn't having cable good? I mean, I thought having cable is good. Chikuze? Oh, you might play Chikuze with cat and dog noises with insane latency? You know what? Fucking, I'll just use controller for this. Fuck. As much as I want to bang the drums, you want to play this? I don't know why the audio quality for this music is so shit, though. I mean, hear this. This one is so much better. I think you have this. Like, where's the audio quality? The power is very whack. Cable can be worse, but it's rare. Yeah, I thought having cable is always nice, but I guess it's a rare case that it's terrible. I mean, to be fair, using controller to play this game is a little bit too easy. I want to bang the drums, fuck! I mean, I've been banging... Oh, fuck. I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm not a happy kobold. Oh, nope. I've got to change it back. Nuh-uh. Oh! Motosachi? Really? Oh my god. Alright. Motosachi it is. Let's go easy. Oh god. So good. Motorcycle noises. Oops. Motosachi. Press all the buttons! Can't seem Protect anymore now that you turn cat. Kinda sad to be honest, but Protect is still good bean. Gonna like the turtle. Look, if I'm playing with controller, I should probably play with Standing Dawn. Probably. Yup. I mean, if I want, I can play this and destroy my hand. It just fucking destroyed my hand. What can I do with this? Because this song is actually insane stupid. and you know what's funny? I can probably play this with a drum if I practice more. Because of the Leiku technique. But not with controller. If controller, I'm probably gonna die, but you never know. If I play with like Tekken, the Tekken hold, just try it. Not the blue extreme because it's just stupid. The blue extreme is like weird. Woo! Ooh. Oh my god. Yep. When you tensor the ways, have you both feet so much better? I don't think that's close, Turtle. I don't think that's close. I mean, yeah, with controller, I can sort of just like shimmy a little bit so that I can micro press the button. You know what I mean? Yeah, something like that. Look, I played too much video games back then. That I become a nerd. Never scroll down. I'm scared. Probably gonna expect you to hit them. It's actually possible if I'm playing a real drum, you know, if I just make noise with it, it's actually possible because you know when you hit when you hit the drum, you can actually hold the stick lighter so that you have like the shake momentum, so that you actually one beat is like multiple hits, something like that. it's just drum things. Oh, you guys want to know my other favorite music? This one. Toki mune kyun omatsuri time. Best music? You don't nikite? How many presses per second can you do? Honestly, no idea. Press on one single button or two buttons? Because if two buttons, I think I train on Osu a little bit. I used to play Osu and pressing ZS with my left hand a little bit more. Single? Oh, that's hard. Am I allowed to use two hands or just one hand? Hi, Daddy! You're the cutie as well, Daddy. Welcome. I got defeated by the drum, so now I'm giving up. How you doing, Daddy? Measure with one finger. Oh shit! So with one finger on the single button press, is there a way to test that? Drum time. I have a drum here, but because it's so laggy, I cannot use it. Here, let me bang the drum for you. Listen to this one. This is for you. This is for you, Daddy. It's filled with latency. That's why I'm not using it. I have the drum here. Well, oh, what if I just become stupid? What if I just be stupid? Oh wait, you know what? I gotta do something stupid. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna try it. Why am I doing this again? I don't know. Cool, right? I used to be a Chinese lion dance troop leader. That's why I love drums so much, because I play the drum a lot.
And welcome.
Aki Thunderpaw, hi. Welcome, Ru. If I'm ever curious, okay, I'll try it afterwards. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. You hear this? Oh, that's so sad. Like, go stupid! She's gonna go stupid! Oh wait, I need to change the noise. No more Mortal Style shape for now. Oh, since it's already terrible. Since it's already terrible, why not use this? Let's fucking... Oh fuck. I'm going unhinged. I'm going like... The more I try to use the drum, the more insane I go. The more insane I'm gonna go. Let's go! I'll beat the drum for you. I'm gonna cry. It's so bad. I messed up. I mean, you guys hear the drum, right? I have to hit the drum so much earlier for the note to count. It's so sad. Fuck. You know what? That was fun. Your current control number should control time without you change the control type? Yes, please. How do you... How do you know? Oh wait, I can just change it like this. Oh, that's neat! I like the turtle though. Look at the turtle. Adorbs! Let me just open up the link real quick. I mean, since it's using like separate. Don't worry about the lag, it's fine. What did everything just restart? I'm gonna cry. Everything's fine, everything's fine. Oh, I can probably play some game music, I think. I have to be careful. This one's my favorite, but also very fucking hard. Oh, Kirby though. Oh, that I'm surprised that there's this music here. Where is it? This one. Oh, electric fountain? Fuck. Fuck, electric fountain though. Shit. But I'm not gonna play this. I want copy. Copy. I'm just gonna play the drum if hope you guys don't mind, because obviously everything is, the timing is not right and everything. Yeah, I'm only to YouTube, that's why. Green Greens music? Green Greens? Oh, is it the Kirby the Kirby place? Question mark? I played this one before. I forgot. I'm doing it. I enjoyed this. Actually, you know what? You know what? This actually fits for Kobo music. Kobo actually plays drums like this. How about that? If I legit serious and wanting to play Taiko, I have invested in drum controller. I mean, I love playing drum, I guess, but I don't have the money, so I just buy the cheapest one. It works. Not as good, but it works. Alright, I'll play like 1 or 2 more songs. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I bought this for like 120 ringgit. I mean, 120 ringgit for a drum controller? God, I'll take it. It's very affordable. I wouldn't say cheap, right? I wouldn't say cheap. It's affordable. Because fucking shit, this still costs like 100. Taiko Force level 5. No, it's only out of nowhere. Taiko Force level 5? Huh? Don't know what that is. Taiko Lure is gonna be a thing? What the fuck? Taiko Lure? Okay, not. I never played my favorite music. Let me play it. I haven't played this on the drum. Just let me play it, alright? I know it's bad. I know it's bad. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just try your best not to hear the drum noises. All good, right? All good. This is how Kobo make music, alright? It's a true arcade style control. What? How much does it cost? What if I invest in one so I can actually hit the drum? Oh shit. Instead of this like plastic drum. Good enough, right? Good enough. Shouldn't complain too much. I should not complain too much. Let's go! I forgot. No, not this one. Nuh-uh. I'm changing back the sound. You know what to know? But I do want to know. You know, hit me, I'm ready. Alright, yeah, you know, I said I'm ready. T! Okay, let's go normal. Fancy price too. Yeah. 450 USD is like, so what's it, about 2,000 something? You know what? Okay, I actually did a little experiment here. I tried to up my out to play the music really loud on my end and play according to the music. It's all bad. So I was playing according to the music and it's all bad. It's like arcade sized taiko drum. That sounds good. And it looks like the proper drumstick to play. That sounds fucking good. So that means I still want to do like the last ditch effort to like calibrate this. So I'm playing according to the music. It's all bad because it's too early. Wait, let me try again. Sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. Just buy the whole machine? Well, if you can buy it from me, hell yeah. Too early if consistent, easy to fix. If all over the place, no hope with just calibration. It feels like I hit. It's bad. You can buy the machine for me? Nah, I want Roxas to buy it from me. Don't steal, no steal. No steal. I don't know anymore. Just okay, you know what? Just play through the music. Like normal. Like normal. Good, please play. Oh, we are kind of close together. I mean, if Roxas has it. Shiny? Oh. Yeah, shiny's good. How about that? Last ditch effort. You will buy and not play? You did sell your fucking Pokken tournament already, did you? Or just the Switch entirely? Maybe if I put this to like normal, then it would do. Right? Trust, bad trust. Trust. Playing the market. Roxas is playing the market. Eventually I'll buy the Taiko Force level 5. Dude, that'll be great. But I do fear that it might be a little bit too loud now. If it's like playing the real drum. Okay, let's try it. guys hear that? You guys hear that? I have to be a psychic and play the drum earlier. so that I can match the drum noises in game. It works. Pain. But it works. I'm not gonna complain much. This is good enough. This is good enough. That means Pokemon cheap? You mean you want Pokemon Scarlet? I don't think I will sell it anytime soon. Or if at all. Oh, hi again, Wings of Fire. You have to deal with weird ass timing? True. Besides, can also play on PC? True. Can you show me your drum? True. Can you trade Pokemon? I mean, if Rock is buying Violet, then yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh. Yep. Alright, one last one. One last music. Please don't mind the drum noises. Oh, maybe if I mute... Oh, what if I play the game and mute the mic so that you guys would not hear the drum noises? See if we have like a different experience. Although, let me check something. Oh, that's right, she, they, you little shit, Roxas. Thanks, Pinky. Aha! I should probably make something like... Yes, I know my voice is like nothing near she, they, alright, I know. Maybe I should make like a... indicator, how about that? Play without the drum sound. Oh, I mean, that's gonna cut. Alright, let's try it. Not without my drum sound, but without the drum sound in-game, right? I can try it. Silent. Oh, that's kinda close. Okay, wait. So if I play without drum sound, I have to like... Now the note is like way quicker? Yeah, I tried to start. True. If I don't have to match the drum note, how about this? Go back. More last ditch effort. Hope you guys don't mind this. Okay, just go here. Go back to minus 29 or some shit. There. Let's see if they change the same thing. Because that feels very different. Last ditch effort, the last one. See, Lex knows me. Okay, let me play with the music, alright? Oh, actually kind of works. Yeah, the iterative drum will detect my timing. That's actually good. I mean, no weird noises, but that works. That works really well. Sure, just done that from the start, huh? Like, if it works, it works, right? Just without the sound, then. Rhythm gamer idea? Yeah. Cool beans! Now I can play a little bit more music, then. What do I want to play? Yeah, play without hit sound. It kind of it works. Constantly amazed by folks who can drum, very nice. If you switch to such to -23, alright. Then fill it with valuable Pokemon. Oh, then. So it's a profit? Eh. Oh, that works. Oh, that's so good. Oh shit. Oh shit, I'm not in a good position. Oh. Of times when you play drums? Wait, what? Oh, Sunway, yalla. So no reason that you play. The first part is to roll the bachi. Yeah, it's still a lot of effort. It can be trained, yeah. We expect right with roll. Sponsor Pokemon? Going to Kai's tell what the fuck? Oh shit. Are you okay? Did you went to hospital? Israel can cover and tell me to pay 30%. What the fuck? Is that how insurance work? Breen! Hi Breen!
Exclamation mark gasp.
Gasp. Thank you, Breen. Hi. Brunei Arcade. There's still like 2 hour or 3 hour I can ride. Just come from work. How you doing? Doing good. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good too, Green. Thank you for the supple. Insurance usually covers a certain amount, but usually enough to cover if not very extreme damage. Oh, welcome, welcome. I'm just playing some drums. I had calibration issues just now, but now not any, quote unquote, not anymore. Tekken, let's go, Tekken. I'm playing Tekken. Autocorrect tried the entire time to turn your name into Bree-Lab. Bree-Lab. Red. Oh shit. There it is. Okay, I found it. That's not bad, right? Need to wait police report? Shit. I know this soundtrack was somewhere. Yeah! It's from Tekken. Tekken Iron Fist Tournament 6. Specifically. The best music. Conscious usually can cover much higher values if it's within 10k, should be okay. Topi Proton? Are you using Proton or is it Viva? Also this one. Solar Calibur. Oh, I found the best music. I forgot about this one. La 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 my shoe. La 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 my shoe. Let's go. This works surprisingly fine. ABC? What do you mean ABC? Nice hoo, that feels good. Oh. Gonna love the turtle. Nothing you come. Yep. Think of a monthly subscription for the game. What game? Oh, there it is, the car. It's been a while. I will drink. Thank you, Pinky. So it's not your fault, then it's easy. Imagine the game for stack. Wow. Fat. Let's play one more. One more. I cannot play. I think. I don't think I can play Toho music here. If I play Toho music, I will get straight up destroyed. I'm not doing that. Oh, can I? Give Blueberry? Taiko music pass? Do Vocaloid? Can I do Vocaloid? I'm gonna get destroyed by copyright strike if I do it. Toho no problem? On YouTube? Oh shit, let's do it then. Vocaloid is also fine? Oh, that's surprising, alright. I gotta try. My YouTube channel can take a few hits, it's fine. Alright, my favorite. I'm a weeb. A game that I never played before. The voice auto mod. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm only to YouTube. I'm dead, am I? Just go for it. A bug. If this strikes a channel, then YouTube broken? Hopefully not. I'm a weeb. Let's do it. Let's be a weeb. Hey, there's nothing wrong being a weeb, alright? I mean, even though I'm not, I'm just a scaly bitch. Oh, using the real drum to dictate the voice is so good. Enters the Toho world. Oh. I block most non-free stuff on FB feed. That's fair. This song popular as people do many style animations to this song. Ah. Like stop motion with Minecraft. Stop motion with Minecraft. I look at the disclaimer. Bad apple disclaimer if you decide to find it later to mute it. Oh shit, okay. Never heard this song before. It's okay. And a Morshu version. There's a Morshu version of Bad Apple? English cover of it also very good. Whoa. Bad Apple is completely everywhere as said. Alright. Alright, let's be ballsy here. Alright, let's be ballsy. See if Twitch actually mute this. Then I guess that's good. I can take the hit. You know what? Just do it. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, also this one is good. I mean, they have the Tatsujin edit. Maybe it's safe. If you get the police from the one that knocks you, you should be able to come to an agreement with the driver of the front car. I want a Morshu version of Bad Apple. Right? I know this music from the McDonald meme edit. That's how I know. Love this music. Night of Nights? Oh, is it? I don't know. I only know this music is from the McDonald meme edit. Oh shit, I messed up. Oh, I messed up towards the end there. Wrong traffic light for the turning one. Oh shit. Should be paying if the front can report you, provide your report to avoid the claim. Dumb driver should be the one at fault. Naturally, yeah. If I had a car and scratch. the chaotic way of solving the issue. Oh, is that your ABC? How is this 7-star? URSVFVWSYMT. Now I know my ABC. Damn, how is this song 7-star, dude? No? What is ABC then?
Emotional damage!
Well, just because you said you want ABC, you guys are we are learning ABC today, guys. Everyone. Yeah, it goes from 2 to 7. ABC by Jackson 5. Let's go. We're learning ABC today. And la la la. QRSDUV. Oh shit. I cannot learn. Woo! I cannot learn ABC. This music's going in. Is this ABC? Oh, it's just so fucking hard. A, B, C, easy as 1, 2, 3. That one for sure gonna go bye-bye. I don't think I have that music, man. This song is like famous too, along with Anpanman. Chibi Maruko-chan. Chibi Maruko-chan is pretty good as well. Anpanman. That was also pretty good. A Vocaloid. The fuck is you? It's okay, I'm going all out then, whatever. The audio jungle, just in case. YouTube. I'm gonna cry. I don't think I can do this too fast. This one is too fast. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do it. Go back. No, don't play anime. Anime is dangerous. YouTube is kind of brainwashing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's there.
Is this?
YouTube. YouTube. Alright,
weakness I smell.
Shut the fuck up! Time to die. Why is it inaccurate again? Okay, wait. It's getting inaccurate again. I think the screen flashes just now. A little bit weird. There's a pass on Switch? For this game, you mean? So it will have more music? Question mark? Sorry. I'll play 2 more Vocaloid music then. How was it again? Is it like a little bit more?
Yes, inaccurate. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Stretch that bone. Nice. I know there's like RPG adventure Taiko game? RPG adventure? Oh, definitely not this one. I'm not gonna die. Let's play this one. It's easier. This one's easier. Now this BPM, very friendly. No. Shit. My tempo not good. Ooh, that's a lot of combos. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's a low score. Damn. This one in Brunei, though it's at Bandar the Mall. I know since the camera used to be where I am, but not connect to internet. Huh. This new one connect to internet? Wow. I want the long snoot. The power. Cute. Thanks, Brain. I thought I can get the power of long snoot, and then I got drove over by a car instead. You bully! So sad. Okay, just one more for good measure. Let me play my favorite music, alright? Alright, just one more, my favorite music, alright? Because I am getting hungry and I think it's almost 9. Yep, it's almost 9. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, it's supper. Shit.
Song sounds familiar.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's okay. Oh shit. Oh, it's so good. You guys are bully. Yeah, I'm gonna go get myself some dinner. Just kidding. Is it dinner or supper? It's pretty much supper at this point. Oh, no. Supper? Yeah. Yes. No box. You know what I like about being able to play Switch on my PC? Now being able to stream just streaming Switch game in general. Oh, sorry. I get to really bump up the thing. Launched. Oh no. Oh no. All good, don't worry about it. I got a jam. Yeah. Whoa. Thanks guys. I'll stay here. Oh my god, I'm still spinning.
Cad JAM, Morshu PLs. Thank yous for strutting rad JAM, Morshu PLs.
Morshu PLs. Alright, I'm gonna be ballsy and just upload this VOD to YouTube. Unedited. Oh, before I end the stream as well, I need to do the keyboard press thing. Good thing I have the link open, huh? Alright, give me a moment. I'm gonna listen to the same music, hope you guys don't mind. Because this one is really good. Unedited disclaimer, yeah. But thanks for the disclaimer there, Pinky. I tried to see a distorted drug. Don't worry about it. Always normal. Yep. Oh yeah, I should shrink myself then. You guys are gonna see some sort of... I have this. Let me go open up my phone real quick. Yep. Hey, it's Mizu. Okay, now I can look at the chat with my phone. I can reply anytime I want. Look at that, easy. Check your keyboard CPS with any button. Which button do I want? I'm so confused. Don't worry about it, Reader. It's okay. Yep.
Why you use phone?
Because I only have one screen to work with when I play Switch games. What this? This is CPS test. I'll use one finger only. Alright, that's the rule. One finger only. What was the last one? What do you mean the last one?
Use Switch screen instead of phone?
No, it's okay. Did you do it? Did it happen?
Is one finger enough?
Yeah. Oh, I think that happened. Wait, so it's not case sensitive? Alright, 10 seconds.
Ooh, shiny.
Space only. Right hand, index finger. Alright. I'm probably gonna smash my PC. Smash my keyboard, I mean.
Use all fingers on space.
Use all fingers on space? No, just one finger first, alright? This is one finger. Oh, you just start immediately? Well, fuck. Don't you have a countdown for this shit?
For good measure, toes and nose too.
That's too much. Alright, I have an idea. Okay, I'm missing left hand. Try again. I'm trying. Okay.
Head and shoulders too.
That's mine.
And knees.
Oh my god, guys. Head and shoulders. Head and shoulders. Knees and toes. Knees and toes. If I do two finger, both left and right index finger, maybe I can do more. Eyes and single finger, cool. 92, good value. They didn't show the average. All right, let's do it. Two fingers left and right index.
Congrats on the 92. Could probably bump it to 100 if you use your eyes.
100 if I use my eyes? Jesus. Probably. Alright, here we go. Let me just adjust the mic a little bit.
Wait, you're a Kobo. Why you not using tail as well?
Oh shit, you're right. But tail is a little bit hard to aim, isn't it? I stopped a little bit at the start.
Hold tail with your teeth, then press.
That's a little bit difficult, isn't it? You guys are bullying. Yeah, I can use my tail. Plus tail. Wink wonk. No one knows. Actually, there's no tail here, but with tail.
Nice speed Godro Bongo.
Yeah, I got the speed. Let's try again. Oh, I did it wrong. No, the timing is wrong. Oops. The timing is wrong. The timing is wrong. It's okay lah. I mean, 103 is good enough. I can't see you off. I have to get back to work. Okay, thank Jack. Go to work. It's fine. Enjoy your supper. Hell yeah, I am hungry as fuck. Got 384. What the fuck? How the hell? Alright, now I can read chat again. Got any piercings? I'm kinda afraid of piercings. I heard you got some piercings, Breen. Oh, that was a fun stream. You got 4? Whoa. Are they not painful? Like, getting pierced? I mean, it sounds painful to me, but I don't know if it's actually painful. 384 per second? Cool. I don't think it's... Not per second. The eyebrow hurt, but not too bad. And the septum wasn't bad either. It hurt, but not like awful. Ah. Not the nips. It's probably the most painful thing I ever gotten done. Shit. The nips. I mean... The nips are super... nips are
You
super...
what? Sir Drox, 9 p.m.
Yeah, hi Narix. Had a good sleep, hopefully. Yeah, I'm very hungry. Look, I figured out how to play Taiko on stream. That's why I'm here. All right, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. Also, yeah, I need to go get dinner, supper. They look good. No, gosh. I mean, if the pain's worth it, definitely hell yeah for you. I mean, if you like that, for sure, definitely go for it. Hell yeah. I enjoyed them. Nice. Also got my first tattoo set up. Gonna get that positive gratitude done sometime next month. Gratitude? Oh, speaking of, I did see you play the cute rat game. I forgot what it is. But the rat is like wearing armor, running around. It's not tiptoeing, but the stride is like very, very light on feet. Goes over the tail. Ah, yeah, that one. Oh, the rat is so adorable, not gonna lie. Ooh. What the Kavala streaming? Why are you not yawning at me, Narx? Oh, hi, Brecky. I'm happy. Still not used to have only one screen, but I'll get used to it soon. Thanks. All good, all good. I never get the chance to raid Kavala. Oh yeah, today is Friday. That's why Kavala is streaming, because it's Friday. Oh, fucking raid Kavala. Kavala's gonna get it. That's right, Kavala's getting it. Why am I making... Hey! Hey! Things for the Apex tournament? Epic League? Oh! Gonna send in all the love then. Don't be the exercise of the stream. Oh, did you redeem it? Oops, sorry I didn't. Oh, I see it. Okay. Sorry I didn't see it. I'll do it after I eat. Can I do that? Can I do it off stream? Can you will you trust me? Will you trust me doing it? Yeah. I'm gonna be very honest. If I did not do it, I'll definitely refund you the points and I'll tell you about it. I want to be honest. If I did not even answer, you were preparing to breathe lightning. Oh shit, that's true though. I want that. Why do I keep spinning? Good night, Brecky.
Hey, hello. Remember to open up the subtitle, huh? Thank you.
Oh yeah, my stream died. Alright, let me plug things real quick. Hey Bernie, while I'm a helicopter, just hey, come in.
I'm once again asking for your financial support.
Hey Bernie, can you help? I'm kinda helicopter-ing currently. Oh my god, that's so cursed. Oh, that eye though. That's a new analog horror thing. Gosh, I had so much fun today. Humans have kept dogs as pets for over 1,200 years. 12,000 years. Shit. Oh, you know what? This time I'll do it to myself because compatible. Have fun! Let me type in the raid to Kavala real quick. 1200 is so accurate. I'm sorry.
Motorsalche.
Motorsalche. Okay, I'm typing the raid to Kavala. Motorsalche. We're gonna go raid Kavala now. Thanks for stream. Thank you guys for being here. Big appreciate. Love y'all. What do I do tomorrow? Oh, wait, before I go, tomorrow will also be kind of a short stream since tomorrow I have a family dinner night. So yeah, there you go. Can I play more Switch tomorrow? Oh, you know, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I can play Pokemon! God, I'm so excited. I'm sorry, I'm just half drunk currently. And when I'm hungry, I guess I'm half drunk. Maybe.
Motorsalche, Motorsupin, Motorbota, Motorudar.
Motorudar, wow, that's kinda cool. Maybe I'll play Pokemon tomorrow. Yeah. Because I haven't finished the game, I still have to go to the Great Crater of Paldea. So yeah, I gotta do it tomorrow. I'll play more Pokemon. Okay. Then before the raid, I want to say thank you all so much for joining with me today. Really appreciate all of you. Love you all so much. Right, know that you guys are all loved, you guys are valid, you guys all matter. Very valuable. Motorola. Here comes the red Kabbalah. Here comes the red Kabbalah. Boom. And great crate of Paldi's nuts, guys. okay. Oh yeah, let me do the raid Chinese.
Non-Sabraid.
Non-Sabraid. Oh. Gosh, you guys are amazing. Love you all. I really do. And you guys make me happy. Kobo's rain all your shinies. If you guys have my emote, feel free to use them. If you guys don't, it's totally fine. Use whatever emote you guys have, or you guys want to use. Go ham, go stupid, go crazy. Why are you pointing a gun at me? Oh, no.
Less than 3 Lighty 25 love weird R1 love carrot 5 heart heen 3 heart.
Much like a bucket. I'm not stupid. I know you're not. Are you though? I had fun today. Thank you all. Oh, stink. Very stinky. I'm not missing anything, right? I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, Kobo's are reading all your Chinese. That's it. Yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Be safe. Love y'all. Bye. PSO sucks. Oh shit, I have so many jank commands. I didn't know. Okay,